What's up, Sean?
What's going on, man? How are you?
Man, I'm doing good. I'm doing good. As good as you can be during these crazy times.
I hear that. It's not a whole lot to do, so just trying to stay inside, stay safe, stay away from all this stuff.
Yeah. Are you in Morgantown?
No, I came back. So they can't, Big 12 tournament, obviously everything canceled. And then we actually got back to Morgantown a couple days after. And then they kind of preferred, I think, everybody to go home just to kind of be with your family, during obviously these crazy times. And so I've been here ever since mid-May or mid-March, my fault.
Okay. And where's home again?
Union, Kentucky. It's about 4 hours and 45 minutes from Morgantown.
Nice, nice. So you're home with family then?
Yep. So how long have you been? You're back in the States. Where are you at?
I'm in southern West Virginia. I got back, I think I'm on week 4, almost 4. Kind of similar, just out of nowhere. They didn't cancel it right away, but they just suspended the season. We were just in limbo with a bunch of rumors like they were going to cancel it. But overseas basketball is a little bit different. They can't cancel things right away because there's sponsorships and season ticket holders. That's most of the money over there. In order to protect themselves, they had to keep postponing it. I think even now today it's still not canceled yet. But, once things started getting bad and all the travel restrictions started going into place, I thought it was best to get home.
Right, yeah. So a little bit, I don't want to make this a whole Q&A, but a little bit, me and you have talked, obviously, while I've been at school, little conversations here and there in practice, stuff like that. Just first off, what made you choose West Virginia, and why a little bit?
Man, it was 15, 16 years ago. I fell in love with it, man. So I played my high school ball in Florida, and it was me and my high school coach making this decision. And then West Virginia saw me playing on the AAU circuit. I only played 1 year of AAU, actually. And that's when West Virginia saw me. Beeline came down and met them, had a couple great conversations. And then they were actually my second visit out of my 5.
Okay.
And once I saw Morgantown, and of course the draw to the Big East was amazing. It's something I've always dreamed about when I was a kid, playing on a big stage. And then once I got to Morgantown, met the staff, met the players, played a little pickup, decision was over for me. Yeah. So actually on my visit is when I called home and I had to kind of check with my high school coach to make sure I wasn't making a mistake. And he said, no, go with what's in your heart. So I did it and canceled the rest of my visits.
So playing for Beeline and Hugs, and just your favorite memory or what sticks out the most?
Ooh, that's tough, man, because it was almost like 2 different careers almost, because I had 2 with Beeline and I had 2 with Hugs. So
right.
Personnel was different, environment, culture, everything was just different between the 2. So it was almost like 2 different phases in my life, even though it was just a straight 4 years.
Right.
I think under the Beeline era, we had a big-time win over UCLA when I was a sophomore. So we had 5 seniors my freshman year. None of us saw any playing time. We were just kind of fans on the bench. And then sophomore year, we only had 2 seniors. And then we got thrown in the starting lineup, me and my roommate, Joe Alexander.
Mm-hmm.
So here comes number 2 UCLA with Westbrook, Aflalo, all these NBA players,
big-time guys,
Collison, and a couple guys like that. They came into Morgantown thinking they were going to smack us, and we put that wood on them. And it was the first time they rushed the court when I was at West Virginia. And then for Huggins, let's see, good memory. I played for Hugs. Of course, the 2 NCAA tournaments were great to be a part of. We had some big wins during the season, but my junior year when Hugs first got there, we had just worked so hard, man. That transition was extremely tough, and nobody transferred out. Nobody quit, which was nice. It gave us kind of a really strong bond going through that together.
Yeah.
And it resulted in a Sweet 16 run, and we ended up playing Arizona, which was just loaded at the time in the first round. But then our second round matchup was Duke. And they were like a 2 seed, I think. I think it was a 2-7 game. And they were picked to go to the Final Four. The entire world, like if you looked at the NCAA map, the entire country had picked Duke to win the game except our state. And we were able to pull off the win, man. So even sometimes that little highlight video will kind of resurface every now on social media, man. It'll still give me chills just thinking about it.
Yeah. Being my first year playing obviously at West Virginia, you talked a little bit. I mean, just playing at Coliseum, there's just something a little bit different about the Coliseum and the people in Morgantown and the environment that's there.
Yeah. Touching on that, man, like you try to tell recruits that, I'm sure they told you when you were being recruited, but it's such a unique place. Like putting aside the people are amazing and the support and just how genuine people are, putting that aside, it's a unique place in the sense there's no other teams.
Right.
It's West Virginia basketball. So when you go on the road, when you leave the state, like that story I told you about Duke, you're not just playing for your team, man. You got this sense of pride, like you're representing the entire state of West Virginia. And both coaches I played for, Beeline and Hugs, they did a great job of like, I remember Beeline used to send us on like these little 2-man go down to a basketball camp in like some random parts of West Virginia. And it wasn't, it was to give back and it was good PR, but really what it gave us players was just a pride of who we were playing for.
Right.
When you were able to get those big victories, like you said, you touched on, man, it just felt different. Even now, I'm in my 11th season pro, man. I've had some amazing wins, but it just hits different when you're representing an entire state of people.
Right. Yeah, no doubt. I mean, touching on Hugs a little bit, I mean, obviously, while you're there, you're completely focused on bringing pride to the state of West Virginia. But, I mean, he just prepares you at such an extreme level. I mean, he really does want his players to pursue, a professional career if that's what they want. And I think that just being my first year, that he does everything in his power to make sure that you're ready for that level.
Yeah. Him and also Sean Brown, too, does a tremendous job as far as preparing you for professionalism, because the biggest shock I think people have when they leave West Virginia is not a single person is telling you what to do as far as training, eating, how to lift, when to lift, all that. And I felt like Kettler, and I can see it in Sean because I work with him now, they really prepare us for, doing that on our own at the professional level.
Yeah. And then just picking your brain a little bit, in your college days, who was a couple of the best players that you have played against, teams you went against, just a little bit on those guys?
That UCLA team would be definitely recommended. I think they had 4 or 5 NBA guys on that team. Westbrook was a freshman that year, if I'm not mistaken. Mm-hmm. Arizona had Budinger, Jordan, and Jared Bayless. It was a fun time chasing him around. The Duke team had Shire, Singleton, Henderson, and DeMarcus Nelson. Mm-hmm. So they had a couple of NBA guys as well. And then our Big East was loaded back then. God, the Villanova teams, my rookie season, the Villanova teams, you might be too young for this. Mm-hmm. This was 2005-06, but they had a top 5 team with Allen Ray, Curtis Sumner, or even the Marquette teams, Jarrell McNeil, Lazar Hayward, Matthews. Some just loaded squads. Even the UConn teams, Dyson, those guards that UConn used to have. Georgetown with Tabit, those big boys. My senior year, we played Pittsburgh in the Big East tournament. Okay. And that's another thing came in, man. It's a great story because we weren't ranked coming into the Big East. We needed to make some noise. And here got number 2 Pitt, backyard brawl in the Garden. Okay. And these boys, they're ranked number 2 in the country. They got Sam Young, they got DeJuan Blair, a couple more pros, Levance Fields. And they're not doing a structured warm-up. So I don't know if everybody knows this story, but they're not doing a structured warm-up. We're doing our little typical routine. It looks professional. They're over there doing layup lines, throwing alley-oops and stuff off the backboard. One guy tried to throw it and missed the backboard. Dude, we just looked at him, and we came in the locker room. Nothing had to be said. Nothing. Right. Hugs came in and said, "Did you see what they were doing?" Right. And it just, man, it was wild. Anyways, we got the victory and moved on. But that Pittsburgh team was stacked. Yeah.
So I'm going to bring in a little stats here. I mean, obviously, you were a heck of a ball player at West Virginia and obviously still in your pro career.
Thanks, man.
No doubt. I mean, people here and there, from around West Virginia, and I take full pride. It kind of compared me to you a little bit. I mean, I still got a lot of work to do, but no, I mean, 11.
You're a way better shooter than I ever was.
11.5 points a game, almost 44% from the field, 38% from 3. Just what were some of your highlights, personally, and just how do you feel about your collegiate career?
Just thankful, man. Thankful for that decision. So many things were out of my control as to playing for John Beilein and learning from him, and then having just complete luck in getting Bob Huggins as a coach for my last 2 years. I mean, you played for him for a year. You know what he brings. And looking back now, I'm year 11 as a pro. Just complete thankfulness for that. again, man, back to being thankful. My teammates, the guys I had to be teammates with, I mean, who Beeline recruited, those guys, man, we got group chats. We still keep in touch, man. Those are brothers. And
That's
it's
awesome,
like,
man.
it's hard to speak on it because you're still doing it now. But once you graduate, man, you got these relationships, these bonds. You know, the word brotherhood gets thrown around a lot, but it's true, man. Prime example, when this pandemic, you know, popped off in Europe, as soon as it went nuts, we made a group chat. We had every Mountaineer in a group chat overseas. We were supporting each other, updating each other, talking about travel, this. We heard this. GMs are saying this. And again, man, that's just, I don't know if every alumni association has that or basketball alumni has that, but it's a strong bond with us, man. You'll get to experience it one day for sure.
Yeah, it's special for sure.
What are you doing now, like day to day working out?
Every Monday to Friday, I go up to my high school football field, do some speed and agility stuff there, do some running.
Nice.
And then luckily I've got some weights here at my house, stuff that I've even bought a little bit. Just, I mean, because it was nice to kind of come home for a little bit, I'm sure you even know too, get like maybe a week or so. As that's over, it's like, dang, I need to, lift. I need to do something. I can't just sit around here and not do anything. No, so I'm lifting, running, getting into, when it's nice outside, find an outdoor court. There's a couple courts. There's actually a couple guys that I know that have like full length basketball courts in their backyard.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, which is really nice.
That's Kentucky basketball for you right there,
man. That's it right there. The outdoor. Yeah, that's it for you. But no, it's been, kind of, a makeshift, do what you can, but making the most of it still. This pandemic is, serious and stuff. And
is Sean helping you? Is he sending you stuff?
Yeah, he sent us some protein. He's still giving us workouts every day to do.
Okay.
You touched on him. Sean's a phenomenal guy. I've only been able to work with him for a year now, but he's changed my body already, and looking forward to the next 2 years.
What are they saying for you guys? Is there like a date that they're going to revisit?
We haven't really heard much. As of now, the Big 12 set a date for May 31st that everything's suspended until then. So, we're hoping that we can get back June 1st, early June, and, kind of, get things rolling again. We're obviously way behind the ball. I think there's pros and cons to it, I think. I think getting away is going to help a lot of people. But, obviously, there's a fine line. Getting back into the gym is, much needed as well.
I got a question now for your first game. So, all right, you played community college. I don't know the gym or the atmosphere, but you got to West Virginia, you're through the preseason, and now your first game in the Coliseum comes. The fans are there. The carpet gets rolled out. Yeah. I'm sure there was goosebumps, man, but kind of touch on that feeling of that first experience.
Absolutely. Like you said, or like we both talked about earlier, playing in the Coliseum is, unique, and playing for those fans, it's, you don't get that everywhere. But no, playing at community college, there's, maybe 50 to 100 fans, sitting there watching your games, and you go to the Coliseum, there's 13, 5, 14 there every night. So, that being my first time playing, at the school that, I fell in love with. We talked about it all preseason about, the fans and doing this not only for your team, but for the state. And, just wanted to make everybody proud. And, so when that carpet rolled out and, the bright lights turned on, I'm sure even just thinking about it your first time, you get goosebumps and chills. But no, it was phenomenal.
Yeah. What are some of the things, like I mentioned, like picking one or two things during the off season to work on? Me, this year I'm older now, so it's going to be keeping my footwork, keeping my ball handling, that touch. What are some of the things you're trying to improve that you experienced last year that you want to have next year?
Those two big things that I focused on more on that year off, because that was a huge thing for me. My senior year of high school, going into my, 2 years later, because I took that year off. But that year off that I worked on was a ton of off the dribble stuff. Ball handling itself, but also shooting off the bounce.
Yeah.
Which I thought I did pretty well, at junior college, but last year I didn't really, do as well as I could have done. So I'm gonna work on that a lot this summer during the off season. But also, just speed and agility in itself. I think that you can always be quicker, always be faster. Not only offensive purposes, but to score the ball, but mainly for defense, staying in front of people. Because, at West Virginia, particularly playing for Bob Huggins, if you don't defend, you're not going to be on the floor very long.
Man, understatement of the year. There's been so much talent that has come through the program that if you just don't guard, you don't get on the court.
Absolutely.
Which is going to help you at the pro level, man. Love that defense. You start falling in love with it.
Yeah.
I pride myself, and I love that my coaches put me on the toughest assignment. So that's just wear it like a badge of honor.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let me ask one more question.
All right.
How did the nickname Hot Boy come to be?
So we're all sitting, I think this was my junior year of high school. I mean, high school, you go to those summer camps and stuff, play at certain colleges, you stay in the dorm rooms for a couple of nights. So we were at Transylvania's summer camp, staying there for 2 or 3 nights, whatever it was. And after, I think we won like 3 or 4 games. You play like AAU style, 3 or 4 games a day. So we're there sitting in our dorm rooms that night, and this song comes on called Hot Boy. So we're listening to the song, and he just repeatedly says Hot Boy, Hot Boy. So we all just changed our names to Hot Boy on Twitter. Some of them changed it now, but it stuck. A lot of people call me Hot Boy or HB or something like that. So I just kept mine, and Hot Boy, and then your number. So 22 has been my number ever since my sophomore year of high school. So
yeah, man, it's a good number, man. You represent it well. I'm happy you have it.
Got to keep it for you too. So where was I?
Well, listen, dude, this was fun, man. Keep working hard. Make the most of this situation, and I'm hoping to see you guys soon back in Morgantown.
Absolutely. Yeah, man. Stay safe. I appreciate you.